First thing to remember when we rationalise the denominator is we just got to go back to, okay, how am I going to get rid of that surd sign at the bottom? The easiest way, of course, is to multiply by the surd of itself. So that will, of course, then just square the inside number and square root it as well, which of course just leaves me with the original number. So if that was 3 by surd 3, I'm just left with 3 and the square root sign disappears. When I do that, I must multiply by not only that surd, that's what I've done on the bottom, but also whatever I put on the bottom, I must also multiply on the top, because that equals 1, which means that I'm effectively multiplying my original question by 1, and therefore I'm not changing it. To rationalise the denominator of this question, I want to multiply by surd 3 over surd 3. Now the reason why I'm not going to multiply by 7 surd 3 over 7 surd 3, even though in the denominator here I have those two parts as the term, is because it just makes it more complicated than it needs to be, and it means I have to do more work at the end. Always just multiply by the surd. So of course, surd 3 and surd 3 will multiply together just to give me 3. So on the bottom of this I'm going to have 7 times 3. And on the top, well, there's no number outside here because I've only multiplied by the surd, so the 6 remains on the outside. And on the inside here I'm going to have 15. Surd 15 I would now simplify if I could. I can't. It's 5 and 3, which are 2 primes. No perfect square number goes in there. So I know that on the top I'll have 6 surd 15, and on the bottom I'm going to have 21. I can do one more thing. 6 and 21 are both multiples of 3. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cancel down. So it goes into 6 twice. So I have 2 surd 15 on the top. And of course 21 7 times. And that's my fully simplified answer. I've taken away the surd from the denominator. But actually this would be the same as what my original question was. I haven't changed it. So if I wanted to then see if I could go backwards, you could apply the steps in reverse and see if you get this. It's not necessary, but you could. So this is our final answer. Rationalising using the conjugate just means that I'm using the difference of two squares rule. So if I have the square root of A plus the square root of B, now they don't have to both be surds. One could be a surd and one could just be a number. And then I multiply it by the conjugate, which means that I've got the same, but there's a difference in between them. And that allows me to eliminate the surds, and I have A minus B. To start a problem like this one, where I have two fractions and they both have irrational numbers in the denominator, I'm going to rationalise each one first and then combine them together. So because it's a 1 on the top, I'm actually going to be timesing by surd 5 minus surd 3 on the top and the bottom, which means that I can kind of skip a step and put the surd 5 minus surd 3 on the top straight away. And on the bottom, I'm going to obviously have A minus B, so 5 minus 3, because they were both surds. And then I'm going to have minus. Here, the opposite of a minus, of course, is going to be a plus. So I'm going to have the square root of 7 plus 2 squared plus 2. And on the bottom, again, I'll have minus because it's difference of 2 squares. 7 squared, when I've got a square root, will just be 7. And 2, when I square it, will of course be 4. Now let's simplify. If I end up with the same denominator, then I can just proceed it as normal. But if I don't, then I need to multiply one of my fractions through so that they have the same denominator, or maybe both. So I've got surd 5 minus surd 3 over 2 minus surd 7 plus 2 over 3. Okay, different. So I'm going to need to multiply them, both of these ones, to get a lowest common denominator, which of course is going to be 6. And this one will become 3 surd 5 minus 3, each thing gets multiplied through, surd 3 minus 2 surd 7. Minus and a minus will make this a minus. So I've got 2 times 2 is 4. Now, I actually can't simplify this one because there are no no like surds. So that's as simplified as it will be. That's it for surds. Hopefully you've got a good understanding of when we use everything and how to use it. If you're not sure about anything, please come and see me. Moving on to index laws on Monday.